Well, look at that. I'm just going to go live like nothing. All right. This whole like YouTube thing's a little weird because sometimes it just makes you go live out of nowhere. And then you do the super awkward stuff where you just sit and talk to yourself till people show up. And then you ask yourself, why do I do this? Why must I subject myself to the horrors of live streaming? But then people come in and then it gets so much better. Hey guys, how goes it? All right. Well, I don't need the headphones. I don't need headphones. All right. Well, yeah. What are we doing today? What are we talking about? Well, I just announced my next single in my 12 singles in 12 months project. It's called Party Monster, and it drops on this Friday. And the reason that I am here is to ask you all to do me an enormous favor. The biggest favor that I've ever requested of you ever in the history of our relationship. I want you to pre-save the single. I know it's asking a whole lot, but, I feel like, I've been doing this band thing for over 20 years, and it's okay to ask you guys for favors every now and again, right? Right? Cool. So, there we go. There's the pre-save single. Boom. And I'm just going to drop that link right in the chat. Yeah, so my new single, Party Monster, drops this Friday worldwide. If you would go to the link that I just put in the comment section and just hit pre-save, it would mean a lot to me because right now in the music industry, the most important thing are streams and saves and all these other kinds of metrics that didn't matter like 3-4 years ago. But I'll tell you what, I asked everybody to do this for SEX, the single that I dropped last month, and you guys pre-saved the shit out of it. I think we got something like over 2,000 pre-saves, which is quite remarkable for a band aesthetic, my size, because there's a lot of artists out there that are 2, 3, 4 times the size of Aesthetic Perfection that can't get those kinds of numbers at all. And I think it just goes to show how strong and how dedicated this community is, and really demonstrates how grateful I need to be for all of you. And of course, I am incredibly grateful. And what is so awesome about that is that it worked, and SEX was added to a bunch of different playlists on Spotify, which made our monthly listener count go way up, which is so cool. So I have all of you guys to thank for that, and I'm really hoping that we can do that again, that we can repeat the success of SEX. Obviously, I try not to get my hopes up too much. I try to just enjoy the successes when they come. But it was really cool. So yeah, thank you all for that. And be sure to click the link in the chat and give me a pre-save over on Spotify. And if you really love me, share it around. And if you doubly, triply, quadruply love me, then sign up for Patreon, because we are just a handful of supporters away from unlocking an entire album. We unlocked all of the singles for 2012 in less than a month, which is absolutely insane. I cannot believe that we got that far. I really thought that it was going to take the entire year to get that many Patreon supporters. So that's another thing that I am super grateful for. And yeah, I have all of you guys to thank for that. So, yeah, that's about as much promo as I'll do for the moment. I will, I guess, go to the chat and see what we got here. But first, I will have a sip of my super expensive whiskey that I got for Christmas that I can't afford myself. I share it everywhere I can. Your music saves my life since years. Thank you very much. That's really like an amazing compliment. And it's not really one that I expected to get when I started doing this whole music thing. Like for me, I just was creating to try to make sense of all of the madness kind of knocking around in my own head. And to think that, that resonates with other people and helps them is really, really humbling and motivating. So there's a lot of times when I get really discouraged by this whole music thing. The industry is crazy. It's super unfair. It's super hard. And, I'm not perfect. I feel like giving up quite a lot and have come really, really close to giving up over the years. But it's kind of comments like that remind me why I do this and, make the low points worth pushing through. Was ist das für ein Buch auf dem Schreibtisch? Welches Buch? Das ist kein Buch hier. Das ist, die sind, wie heißt sowas auf Deutsch? Tarotkarten? Tarotkarten. Tarot cards. Ooh, what kind of whiskey? It is Japanese whiskey. I want to say Yamazaki, like Scotch style. My grandmother-in-law actually got it for me for Christmas, which is pretty crazy. Looks like Oma has great taste in whiskey. Pre-saved, woo! Awesome. I will drink to that. I will drink to a pre-save. That's great. Daniel, du bist toll. Dankeschön. Das stimmt eigentlich nicht, aber das ist nett von dir. Ich freue mich, das zu hören. Deine Lüge. I'll be dropping it on my Facebook friends. I know a few who would like this song and show a ton of love for you. Thank you. I always love when you guys go and tell people about my music because it's true. When they say that when an artist tries to promote their music, it is essentially worthless. The only thing that people trust these days are the recommendations of their friends. So if you guys are telling your friends about my band, I will bow to you and hit my head on the microphone. Your music and the Patreon goodies and live streams have been the highlights of my last months. That is also awesome to hear. I was really nervous about starting the whole Patreon thing. I don't like being the type of person to ask for money. But when I realized that it's much less of a, hat in hands or please, sir, can I have some more? It's really, it's a community of people who believe in an artist or a creator and they just want to see them succeed. And being that we live in a world where art is something that is not valued in a financial way. it's super amazing to see people sort of pick up the slack, the people that really care, pick up the slack and say, no, art means something to us, and it means enough to us to where we are willing to support it financially. And I think that's amazing, because really, like, all the Patreon supporters are the people that you guys should be thanking for me being able to do this, because there's no way that I would be able to make music full time, given the sort of the economy of the music industry right now. I don't think that streaming is the devil. I think that streaming is actually a pretty great replacement for piracy. And I think a lot of people don't realize how bad record deals were in the past. Like, everybody says, oh, Spotify is screwing artists. No, like, major corporations have always been screwing artists, and even indie record labels were screwing artists and giving them shit deals, shit royalty rates, taking ownership of their masters and their publishing. It's like, so the label, an indie label will be like, I own your music for the rest of your life. I mean, they're not even a major. That's like insane. So we have this sort of weird narrative where we believe that streaming is the devil, and that the old way of the music industry was, I don't know, somehow more fair or equitable, which is just complete and utter nonsense. But that's neither here nor there. The point is that we've entered a certain time in history where it's much more difficult to survive as an independent artist. Actually, let me take that back. We live in a time where it's much easier to survive as an independent artist because of things like Spotify, like independent distribution, like Patreon, all of that kind of stuff. However, it requires the artist to do a whole lot of extra work that they didn't have to do in the past, when they were essentially being sort of bankrolled by music labels. But sort of the twist to the story is that, artists who were being bankrolled by large labels, they only had like 4 years. They were bankrolled for like 4 years, and then they went bankrupt, and then their label dropped them, and then they got a job at McDonald's. So I feel like it's a point in history that requires a lot more sort of work and business savvy from the artists, but it certainly yields longevity that was not available to us in the past. So I'm super stoked to be like alive in this day and age, because I don't know if I would be able to do this 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Like, I don't make music that the industry finds interesting. My underground, like my scene doesn't really care about me. The mainstream doesn't really care about me. I just sort of exist in this weird little pocket where I've got all of you guys, my fellow weirdos, who are in the pocket with me, who come from all walks of life. Of course, there are people from the goth scene. There are people from, the metal scene. There are people from, the alternative rock scene. It's like our weird little bubble has a whole lot of weirdos from a whole lot of different places. And I think that that's great. And that means that, what I'm doing resonates with different people from different walks of life. But I don't know how you sell that if you're a major record label, right? Like, or even an independent label that's based on a subculture or a sound where, you have to sort of like fit in a box. So yeah, that's my long-winded way of saying that I am incredibly grateful to be where I am right now. And I'm super grateful to have all of you guys in this bubble with me. How do you feel about DMCA strikes and live streaming DJs? I do not file any strikes for copyright infringement against DJs on Twitch or on YouTube or anything like that. stream the shit out of my music, play it everywhere, play it loud, do your thing. Let's also remember that all of my music is free on Bandcamp. It's all pay what you want. So if you are struggling right now during the pandemic and you need new music to listen to, just go to my Bandcamp, download it all for free. That's what it's there for. If you're doing okay and you want to kick down a few bucks, kick down a few bucks. And if you're doing okay and you want to join our Patreon community and unlock a full-length album, which we are just, I think, 20 supporters away from, go to patreon.com/Daniel Graves. Boom. Now it's in the comments. Now you can't say I didn't. Oh, fuck. I fucked it up. Motherfucker. Patreon.com. I'm going to spell it right this time. Daniel Graves. Boom. There we go. Where can I buy this shirt? Oh, I love this question. This is such a great question. You can buy this shirt at closetohuman.com. Your one-stop shop for all things cat parody related. Do you want a Perminator t-shirt? Meowloween? What about the Podfather or felines like aliens or all different kinds of things? It's my company, by the way. I do it with my partner, Sam, who helps me do all of my design work for Aesthetic Perfection. Him and I made this clothing company, and please check it out. It's great. It's a lot of fun. I always send listeners to your Patreon and Bandcamp when they ask, who is this? That is very nice. Thank you very much. I appreciate that a lot. So hypothetically speaking, if there is a person who wants to create a YouTube Let's Play account, it would be okay to use part of your music for the intro if this person would give you credit. I don't know what a Let's Play account is, but what I know is that I don't issue takedown orders for any people who upload my music on YouTube. Are the t-shirts limited? Some of them are limited, some of them are not. It says in the description which ones will be disappearing soon. My reaction video to SCX was my way of showing support and spreading the word about your awesome music and art, keeping you and keep making the music you want to make. Thank you very much, the Church of Chuck. I watched your reaction video or review over the weekend, didn't I? And I really appreciate that. I love when people make their own reaction vids, when they make their own fly on my desk. When they make their own reviews, all that kind of stuff. I love to see it. I think it's great. Use my artwork, use my music, include it in all your stuff, and tell people that I said it was okay, because I think it's great. Kommen auch Caps von Aesthetic Perfection, also Flexfit Caps or whatever? Ja, vielleicht. Wir haben eigentlich momentan Beanies in Planung. In der Planung? Egal. Ja, wir machen jetzt gerade Beanies. Sie werden gleich fertig. Ich weiß nicht genau, wenn wir das Store hier in Europa öffnen werden, aber mal schauen, hoffentlich in den nächsten Wochen. Hoffe ich wenigstens. Just because I believe in you and in art. Well, thank you very much, Camila. 22 Norwegian. I think I understand how much that is, but thank you. That's very kind of you. Also, if you want to support Aesthetic Perfection, we offer, I offer annual Patreon subscriptions. That is like let's say you feel like a monthly, another sort of subscription-based service on your credit card is not something that you are blah, 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 blah. I got lost. I was thinking back over my German and making sure I didn't make any mistakes. But of course I made a ton of mistakes because I'm on the spot. And I do that all the time. Right. What was I even thinking about? Oh, yes. Right. Patreon. Okay. So, we are offering annual subscriptions because I understand that given the pandemic and people are a little bit hesitant to sign up for a new sort of annual subscription-based service. You can sign up for a year if you like, I just want to throw $20 at you. You can throw $20 at me for the year, and then you get to, have all of the perks for something like the $5 support tier, which I think is great. And you also get a 10% discount on the entire year. So just putting that out there. You're welcome. I know it's not much, but it's the thought that counts. It is absolutely the thought that counts. And here's the thing. I appreciate support in any amount. It doesn't matter how small you think it is. The fact that somebody cares enough about my music to even pay 20 cents towards it means a lot to me. And I think another thing that people forget is that, each one of us is a drop in the ocean, but it's millions of drops that make that ocean. So all together we can actually affect real change and make a difference. So I think that that's amazing, and I appreciate everybody, regardless of how much they are able to contribute. Any plans to do any live shows, maybe live streamings? Pandemic shut down everything a week before you were supposed to hit Albuquerque. Right. So I'm not going to do any live streams. And here's the reason. Well, here's the reasons. There's a lot of them. One, I don't have a live band here. As many of you know, Elliot left the band in order to pursue his own project, which I fully support and endorse. He's been, touring with other bands for long enough, and I think it's high time that he focused on his own project. Two, I live in the middle of the countryside in Austria, and there is a travel ban between Europe and America that Biden just extended indefinitely, which means Joey can't come here to rehearse. And so I wouldn't even know how to get him over here or in the same room. And third, and I'm sorry to say this, I think the live streams suck. I think that there have been some versions where bands have done it in a way where it looks cool and is interesting, but at the end of the day, it's really just a Band-Aid. It's not even coming close to sort of capturing the experience and intensity of a proper live show. And I just feel like it's a lot of time and money and resources to invest in something that is just, I don't know, it doesn't scratch the itch, right? So I would much rather spend my time here writing new music, something that I can't do as often as I'd like when there is a pandemic. I'm spending more and more time on the road these days, or I was, which made it more and more difficult to write new music. And as inopportune as the pandemic has been for me and many other artists, I decided to make the best out of it and use my time to be creative. And that's why I'm doing this 12 songs in 12 months project, because it's like, yeah, maybe we can have live shows, but I really can put myself to the test and try to create a bunch of awesome new music for you guys to enjoy while you're stuck at home while we don't have concerts. It gives you something to look forward to every single month. And, it's going to give us music to play when we all come out of this thing. So I think it's a sort of make the best of a bad situation type thing. And this is the way that I'm doing that. Ever coming back to the USA for shows? I mean, I certainly will, but I don't think that you're going to be seeing international touring return until 2023 or 2020. Oh, no, 2022 or 2023. Obviously, as the vaccine gets more widely distributed, we're going to see local shows return, local events, regional tours, all that kind of stuff. But it's going to take a really long time to get back kind of the momentum that we had before because, there's a whole lot more that goes into having shows than just, or let's say an international tour than just, can we safely cram a bunch of people into a room? There's logistical costs to be considered, when the airlines, fully kick back into gear. Are international flights going to be affordable? Will there still be coach companies and van rental companies charging the same prices? Will promoters still be offering the same kinds of guarantees? A lot of stuff that I'm reading and hearing says no, it's going to be really rough for a while because everybody's going to be trying to make up for the money that they lost. And also, I think once international touring does resume, you're going to see a real logjam because everybody and their mom is going to want to get out on the road. And we're going to see a boom for sure, right? Like, everybody's super eager to get out, ready for that nightlife. But after a while, it's really hard to predict how this whole thing is going to play out. But I think it's going to be at least 12 to 18 months before we see any kind of return to normalcy. I hope you come to Norway one day. You will get a very good welcome here. Well, of course, we've actually played a couple of shows in Norway. They were always very good. Obviously the only place really to play in Norway. I've actually played in Trondheim and Oslo, but Oslo is really the only kind of market for somebody my size. But it was a great time both times, and I'm really looking forward to coming back. Any plans to do any more collaborations with other artists in the future? Not sure if you know that the upcoming single actually features a collaboration between myself and Jinx from Black Veil Brides. He helped me write the song. He plays all of the rhythm guitars. And then the solo is actually played by Elliot Berlin. Just as I was finishing the song, I wrote this little solo thing, and I played it very badly. And I sent it to him, and I said, "Hey man, what do you think of this?" And he said, no, I'm just going to play this for you. And he just recorded it at home and sent it to me, and it was way better than my version ever could be. So, that song is a collaboration between 3 different musicians. The song that we did last month, SEX, that was a collaboration between myself and Sebastian Svaland, who was the guitarist in Lindemann. I met him on the Lindemann tour, and he's also got his own band called Letters from the Colony. I just did an interview with him that is on my YouTube Tone Deaf playlist. I highly recommend checking that out. And the single for March also has some pretty cool collaborations. So just keep an eye out. Uh-oh. Cat's here. Everybody, the cat's here. This is a problem. Have you seen the Party Monster movie? Yes, of course I have. But the song doesn't really have anything to do with the Party Monster movie. It's more just about the saying, right? Somebody's a party monster if they're just always raging. The first thing I will do after the border opens is visit Vienna again. I mean, I don't know if you want to go to Vienna right now. Nothing is open. You can't even get a coffee. You can't even get a coffee anywhere. So you might want to wait until all the stuff reopens. I hope one day that you'll be able to come play live in South America. Yeah, that's been a long time dream of ours. Still not been able to make it happen, but hopefully after all is said and done, yeah. Could somebody post a link? The link to what? I got links. I got links for days. You wanna pre-save the single? Yeah, you do. Everybody here wants to pre-save the single. I want you to pre-save the single. Just go right to that link, click pre-save, and you will be doing me a massive favor. Oh, you want to check out the Patreon? Sure. Just go to patreon.com/Daniel Graves. Did I do it right this time? Yes, I did. Woo! I collect all the Close to Human shirts. When will new shirts drop? We've got 2 new designs ready to go. I think we were supposed to drop them this week, but then we forgot to do it. So we'll probably do it next week. Mit wem möchtest du eine Feature machen? Es kommt darauf an. Es gibt viele Optionen. Ich möchte gerne irgendwann mit Trent Reznor zusammenarbeiten oder Diplo oder ich bin sehr begeistert von den Produzenten, die alles selber machen oder sie schreiben ihre eigene Musik und sie produzieren das selber oder fast selber, ja. Solche Leute finde ich sehr, sehr, sehr inspirierend. Ugh. Talking German's way too hard. Hate it. Oh yeah, just give me the Discord link and I'll share it. Always pre-saving. Woo! Party Monster is so good. Can't wait for it to come out. I like to hear it. Hello, everybody. Hi, Daniel. How you doing? I'm good. It's getting a little late, but when I finished with all my work today, all my posts, I wanted to have a little whiskey and just jump on and say hello to everybody and encourage you to pre-save. Very important. Very important. Oh my God, our language is so much alike. You mean English and Norwegian? I don't think so. Unless you're talking about German. But I speak Austrian German, and Germans don't like Austrian German. You're preaching to the choir. I live in Germany, and some days I just can't German. Yeah, I've been living in Austria for a year and a half. I've been speaking German ever since 2005, and it is still verdammt schwierig. Yeah, German's not my language. I'm American. I'm just borrowing this language until I never have to speak it again, in which case I will be very, very glad. New music. My family is Austrian. That is a non sequitur if I've ever heard one. But yes, Austrians are awesome, and new music is awesome. And you got new music coming from me every single mother Freunden week. Boom. Pre-save Party Monster. It'll be great. English is Germanic based. Ha, yes it is, but 60% of our words are French. Well, you're missing the Austrian accent though. Most people tell me that I actually speak with a mixture of American and Austrian accent. Of course, I don't speak Austrian dialect because I make a concerted effort to speak Hochdeutsch as much as possible, but sometimes, certain Austrian words slip out like Heuer and Habere and what else is there? Jena and there's a lot of Austrian words that just kind of fall out of my face sometimes. Love your shirt. Well, thank you very much. You can get that right at closetohuman.com, along with all other cat-inspired designs where we just ripped off different movie posters, our favorite movies, and put cats in them. I bet you will know what Jäger okay means. I don't. I have no idea. Waiting for some Electro-Schlager from you. There's a lot of Electro-Schlager. It's called Blutangle. Ist es eigentlich schlimm für dich, Fragen auf Deutsch zu beantworten? Naja, ich muss üben eigentlich. Aber ich finde es ein bisschen unfair für die Leute, ich finde es ein bisschen unfair für die Leute, die hier sind, die nicht Deutsch sprechen können. Ja? Und es stimmt, dass es mir oft peinlich ist, weil es dauert ein bisschen Zeit, meine Sätze zu bilden. Ja? Aber so ist es. I meant to actually ask if you'd ever work with Cell Dweller or Blue Stolly. I actually did a remix for Cell Dweller. I actually did 2 remixes for Cell Dweller. Do you speak French? No, I'm American. I don't speak any other language but English. The only reason I learned German was because I moved to a German-speaking country. As an American, we just believe that everybody in the world should speak English and conform to us. Oh boy. Nå skal kille jag inte så har mer bra synthband here. Right? I'm picking up Thüringisch. Nah. I'm still struggling with Oachquatzerschwaf. Oachquatzerschwaf ist sehr einfach. Oder, komm schon, du kommst aus Bayern. Du sollst das sagen können. Anything in the future with them? Anything in the future with Cell Dwellers? It's certainly possible. I don't talk to them very often. So, we'll see. Why don't you tell them that you want more collaborations and we'll see. Which other bands and artists do you like and recommend? I don't think you like the music that I like. I listen to Bryan Adams and Ozzy Osbourne and what else I've been listening to lately? Heart. Been rocking the fuck out of Heart. But Bryan Adams it's gotten to the point where my wife is like, why are you listening to Bryan Adams all the time? Please stop listening to Bryan Adams. All right. It's a bunch of Scandinavian. Speaking of movies, what was the last movie you saw? I just watched The Dead Don't Die. I don't have a lot of time for movies, so basically, like, I watch TV in half-hour increments every day. So I watched The Dead Don't Die in like 2 or 3 parts. I thought it was pretty funny, really weird, but I enjoy sort of like dry, bizarre movies. System of a Down. No, I don't like System of a Down, and I can tell you exactly why, because the tempos change. I don't like music when the tempo changes. Really bothers me. Really bothers me. Weird question. Do you ever watch the Eurovision Song Contest? Yes, I absolutely do. Watch it every single year. I have a party with my friends. We get shit-faced. We write down our favorite songs. We take notes, and we predict the winners. We take it very seriously. What do you think of Hitari? Hitari are cool. The reason that I'm not super into a lot of industrial music is because there aren't a lot of singers, and that's something that like really bothered me in the past, but then I kind of got over it. But then as I started like getting super obsessed with singing, you know, how do I say? I don't want to be mean, but you just don't have a whole lot of singers in this scene that are like, you know, like the people that I listen to, like the singers that I want to hear are the Freddie Mercurys. I want to hear the Robert Plants, people who are super dynamic, super amazing at what they do. And there just really aren't singers like that in the industrial scene. And so it's a pity because it ruins a lot of music that I might otherwise like, but that's just kind of how it is, you know. When you get good at something, it ruins it for you. I know a lot of guitarists who are like, oh yeah, you know, I used to like X, Y, and Z, or I used to like punk music or something until I became a super accomplished guitarist, and then I just couldn't enjoy it anymore. A Koffer for a German is a suitcase. For an Austrian, it is a dumbass. I've never heard any of that. What do you think about V&V Nation? I grew up with V&V Nation. They were like one of the first scene bands that I like followed around. Still love Empires and Praise the Fallen. Very sort of important records in my young life. Do you get down with Devin Townsend? See, Devin Townsend is like amazing, but I just don't really enjoy listening to it. But whenever I do sort of like watch his videos on YouTube, I'm like, this guy is so goddamn good. Like, you know, he is just next level, like singing, songwriting, production, all that kind of stuff. It's a little too cinematic for my taste, but that's just really like a, you know, that's a preference. Like Devin Townsend is gnarly good. How long did it take you to shoot the video for Gods and Gold? 1 day. I think 12 hours. Ever heard of Helena Fisher? Of course I have. What is the video that you are most proud of from your collection? I think Gods and Gold is probably the best music video I've ever done from like a technical perspective and just also the way it looks. Is it right that you live in Germany in 2010? No, I lived in Berlin from 2006 to 2007. I'm that fucking old. Have you watched any Frog Leap Studios? I'm not familiar with that. Oh, I'm not answering that question. Oh, no. Oh, no. You have to remember, like, I don't really have a lot of time to watch stuff. Like, I spend most of my time working. Yeah. I don't watch a lot of movies. I don't watch a lot of TV. I don't watch that much YouTube. But I will have a look. Holy shit, I started school in 2007. Yeah, I told you I am fucking old. Very old. Almost dead. Practically dead. Probably going to die tomorrow. Why do you guys care so much the bands that I like? I mean, okay, but why? It's very interesting. I mean, yeah, I like Icebreaker. Yeah, I like Slipknot. Oh my God, every question. It's all about bands. Ooh, all right. I'm about ready to drop a bomb on all you guys. There's a lot of bands I fucking hate. I hate so many of them. I guarantee you that there are probably like 10 bands that you love that I fucking hate. That every time I hear them, my blood boils and I go, who would listen to something so terrible as this? But I'm not going to tell you who it is because I'm not going to be negative on the internet. We just want to know your influences. My influences are very different than the bands that I listen to. The music that I listen to is very different than my influences. I mean, the music that I listen to is, I mean, I guess in some way it's an influence, but it doesn't really sort of like fit the vision of what I want to do, right? So I'm really all about taking the best parts of pop music and industrial music and making something different, like combining them to create something interesting. But like, there's a lot of music that I listen to that just, I don't know, I would never even consider like sort of including in my a palette of colors, right? I mean, obviously these things are mostly subconscious, but I do feel like I make some conscious decisions about my art, but probably not as many as I think that I do. I feel like it's Korn. I actually love Korn. I love Korn. Korn was my first concert ever. I want to know those bands just for the laughs. Please tell. No, absolutely not. But I will tell you one. I do absolutely hate Pink Floyd. I fucking hate Pink Floyd. Roger Waters' voice is like nails on a chalkboard. It is so fucking terrible and obnoxious. But they were super talented and they influenced a lot of music that I love. So I'm super glad they exist and I will not hate them. I will not hate them. Do you think of writing a book? I will write a book once I lose my hearing or am unable to make music anymore. I just think that I don't have the time for like all the things I would like to do, but if I was not a musician, I would absolutely be a writer. Can we please have questions that are not about other bands? Please? Oh my God. No, I'm not answering any more questions about bands. Not doing it. All right. I'm going to hang out for 5 more minutes. Nope, I'm not. I swear to God, if you guys ask any other questions about what I think about other bands, I'm going to go. I'm never coming back. Ever. Oh my God. No. Stop talking about bands. Oh, jeez. All right. Okay, here we go. I like this question. Do you like the process of performing live better than producing? No. I am a studio person. Performing is part of the job. There are of course like days when I really, really love performing, but I'm not one of those people that's like, I need to be on stage. I'm not like that. To be on stage is stressful for me, right? Like I feel like I'm working in this sense that like I'm there to do a job and my job is to entertain and sing as well as I possibly can. Like that's why I'm there, you know? And there are some days when I come off stage and I feel like that super rush and I'm like, you know, high off of it, but it's not like built into my DNA. Like Joey like lives for performing. I do not live for performing. I live for creating. Creating is the thing that gives me joy, and performing is the thing that I do so that I can keep creating, right? Like, so performing Performing are all the terrible things I have to do to support my drug habit, which is writing music. You need another drink. Cheers. No, it's too late for drinking. It's tea time. Do you feel that concerts as we know it will ever come back? I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, eventually, yes, but I don't know if it's going to be in the next 5 years. It's going to be a while, you know? Do you write all the music and lyrics to a song, or do you often collaborate? I often collaborate, but I have to be the guy that's steering the ship, right? Like, they're always my lyrics. It's always like my production. It's really, collaboration is great because it can help you sort of like uncover new ideas that you never would have come up with on your own. But I need to be the one to put it all together. I need to be the one to make it mine. Otherwise, I don't feel good about it. Like, you know, I've had some songs where I didn't feel like I had the like full control, complete ownership of it, and yeah, it bothered me. What is your motivation for making music? To be honest, I think I'm slightly autistic. If not that, I have pretty severe ADHD. I haven't sought out a diagnosis just yet, but I will when I get back to America. I am just hyper fixated on music. It's like really the only thing that I care about. I don't have hobbies. I don't have really any other interests. I mean, I like wine tasting and good food and stuff like that, but I really could forego all of those things for music. And when I'm not making music, I do often spend most of my time thinking about music and getting angry that I can't do it. Yeah, it's really the only sort of way that I know how to express myself. It's very difficult to articulate myself. I mean, the only reason that I can do this is because I practice super hard at it. Like, a lot of people don't really realize that this doesn't come naturally to me. It's something you learn, right? It's a skill. So, yeah, I mean, I do it because I don't really know what else to do. Do you see yourself staying in the music genre you're in for a while? No, I constantly sort of flip-flop around styles. I get bored very quickly. I mean, if you listen to my last record, Into the Black, it kind of jumped all over the map. If you listen to the last single, SEX, versus the upcoming single, Party Monster, it's just couldn't be any more different. The single that is scheduled for March, Automaton, is totally different. The single scheduled for April, Dead Zone, is even more different. I think artists, when they continue to repeat themselves, are just kind of boring, and if they do that for their whole career, they sort of revoke their artist card. Please translate. Do you have the artwork for the March single finished? No, not just yet, but I need to hurry because it's due on Friday. Best sandwich. I know it's hard. It's really hard. Autism is overdiagnosed these days, in my opinion. It certainly could be. I don't really have an opinion on that, but you know, when I sort of like go down the checklist of symptoms and all that, it does seem to point towards that. You know, my extreme hyperactivity, lack of emotion, hyperfixation, all that kind of stuff. Terrible social skills. Do you ever do song challenges like February album writing month? My song challenge is that I have to write a brand new song every month for a year and release it. It's what we're here talking about. Are there some music videos planned in 2021? No, I'm not doing any music videos or any concerts in 2021. It is just too difficult. Do you have a scoreboard for pre-saves? Yes, but they don't update every day. They update like, I don't know, every couple of weeks. Have you had cats before, Mara? Yes, I've had a couple of cats in my life, or many cats in my life. 4, 5, something like that. Well, again, I make no definitive statements about where I'm at or what I've got. I'm just saying that it ticks a whole hell of a lot of boxes and would answer a lot of questions. And I think that you would have to actually see me in real life because this is not me. Well, I mean, you do see this, but yeah. All right. I think. Yep, cat's here. Time to go. Put Texas on your tour. We put Texas on our tour every time. We always play in Texas like 5 times every tour. It's always like El Paso, Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, and Austin. We never miss Texas when we tour, but we will be touring as soon as we can. Don't you worry. Guys, thank you for hanging out with me. Do not forget that the brand new single Party Monster drops on February 5th. That is this Friday. You would be doing me a massive favor if you would pre-save the single at the link I dropped in right there. If you want to get more involved, join our amazing community. Check out patreon.com/Daniel Graves. And yeah, that's all I got for right now. But yes, thank you for hanging out with me. Please check out the single on Friday. And you all have a lovely rest of your day, evening, or afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.